Good morning, students. I hope that you and your loved ones are safe and in good health. Dear students, during this pandemic situation, kindly have right food because your right food will energize you and keep you away from all the kind of infection, and that will also enhance your positive thought. So as much as possible, avoid all the junk food. Thank you. Now let us go back to our today's lecture talk. Today I shall discuss introduction to industrial biotechnology, okay, and also basic principles of fermentation technology. Okay, before this, let us go through now the definition and introductory part related to industrial biotechnology. Okay, so how we can define this industrial biotechnology? This industrial biotechnology deals with the study of various techniques and methodologies which are involved in large scale production of products by using microorganisms. You must understand here in at industrial biotechnology, we are exploiting the microorganisms to obtain the novel products at the larger scale. Okay, here we can say microorganisms are beneficial or maybe also sometimes harmful to the or body system. How one can decide whether these microorganisms are beneficial or harmful? Based on the results of their activity, one can come to the conclusion that whether these microorganisms are beneficial or harmful. Do you know in our body there are around 100 trillion bacterial organisms which are residing on our body and involved in many other activities, right? So we should not say always all the microorganisms which are very harmful, these microorganisms are very beneficial. Okay, it means we are getting many varieties of microbial products we are able to see. Okay, it means here in the at industrial biotechnology we are obtaining many products through microorganisms. Okay, that you are studying in your syllabus, that is production of microbial products. Okay, could you name what all the products we can obtain by using the microorganisms? Yes, we can obtain the products like alcohol, right? Alcoholic beverages, beer, organic acid like citric acid, antibiotics like penicillin, amino acids like glutamic acid, vitamin B12, right? And even uh, this enzymes, right? Then hormones, drugs, biofuels, right? Then yogurt, buttermilk, idli, cheese, temph, then some of the microbial foods like single cell proteins and single cell oils. We have very novel products we are getting from this microorganisms. Okay, it means we have many microbial products. Most of the microorganisms are beneficial to us. Okay, apart from microorganisms, we can also utilize plant cell, animal cell, and enzymes. Okay, you will be used as a biological agent for the production of large scale novel products at industrial level. Apart from microorganisms, we can also use plant cell system, animal cell system, and even the enzymes which are isolated from the organisms can also be used as a biological agent to obtain the novel products. Further, let us understand more in detail about industrial biotechnology. Okay, here you can make it. The industrial biotechnology has two components. Okay, one is biotechnology, other one is the industrial biotechnology. Again, this industrial, let us take this industrial biotechnology, which has two components, right? In biotechnology, one is bio and another technology. Technology, basically, it's a combination of science and engineering, right? Here, science tells us how it is happening and why it is happening, and whereas engineering is the application of science, right? When you take this particular this bio related to biological component, whatever we develop nowadays in a day-to-day life is the combination of application of both science and engineering. That is nothing but the technology, right? technology comes through with the help of some biological component, which is known as biotechnology. That's why, in short, we can also say science and technology. In science and technology, almost all the innovations are going to come. Now, let us take the word industry. We are using the terminology here, industrial biotechnology, right? Here now we understood about the biotechnology. Now, when we go through the industry, this industry is basically a set of various biological practices, okay, at larger scale. Why are we doing it larger scale? To purify the industrial products. What are the industrial products? The microbial products are the industrial products, like this vitamins, enzymes, organic acid, alcohol, hormones, antibiotics, drugs, biofuel, okay, then monoclonal antibodies, and many more, okay, which comes under the industrial biotechnology, which will be obtained at the largest scale. There are varieties of definition will come. You can consider this particular definition for the industrial biotechnology. Okay, industrial biotechnology is a set of practices that are use living cells such as bacteria, yeast, algae, or other component of cells like enzymes, okay, that may have plant, animal, or microbial system enzymes to generate products of industrial importance, which is followed by the various purification process. Okay, at industrial biotechnology, we are focusing on only the novel products, okay, which are useful to the society and to the mankind, and that should be environmental friendly. Mostly such kind of novel products will be purified and manufactured or processed through this industrial biotechnology. Okay, I hope you understood the definition of industrial biotechnology. Now, further, let us go through in detail about industrial biotechnology. As I told, the industrial biotechnology can be put forth in a different aspects. Let us go through this industrial biotechnology also, brief information. Okay, industrial biotechnology deals with the study, okay, utilization and manipulation of those microorganisms capable of economically producing desirable substances or changes in substances, and the control of undesirable microorganisms. Okay, apart from focusing on production of the novel, useful and environmental friendly products, industrial biotechnology also focus on controlling undesirable microorganisms. Okay, but next let us go through about fermentation. Fermentation is a process mediated by microorganisms, right, in which a product of economic value is obtained. Only those will be further continued at the industrial level. In metabolism, fermentation refers to energy generating process where organic compound acts as both electron donor and acceptor. Okay. In context to industrial biotechnology, fermentation is defined as the process by which large quantities of the cells are grown under aerobic and anaerobic conditions. Okay, at the industrial biotechnology level, you'll also understand upstream processing and downstream processing. Okay, that you can say in short, UPS, that is upstream. UPS, other one is USP, that is upstream processing. Another one is the DSP, downstream processing. Upstream processing involves all factors and process leading to the product and including the fermentation. Okay. And about the fermenter, it consists of following main areas like obtaining a suitable microorganism for the particular product, strain improvement to increase the productivity and yield. Okay. The next comes DSP. What is DSP? That is downstream processing. This upstream processing, you can say USP, that is upstream processing. This is downstream processing. In the exam, you may get question for 10 marks. Briefly explain downstream processing or upstream processing. Okay, downstream processing most commonly are, so focus on this one. Here, what is this downstream processing? Here, this is the process of separation and purification of the product. So at the industrial biotechnology level, okay, fermenter design and selection of the suitable microorganisms, right, our strain, our inoculum, and strain improvement, okay, and how to increase the productivity, okay. Then this particular bioprocess optimization, everything comes under this USP, okay, upstream processing. Whereas in downstream processing, this is related only with the once the product has formed, how to separate that product and how to purify that product and how the packaging will be done. All that which comes under the downstream processing. Okay. So what is downstream processing? I have given in a very short information here. Please have a look. This is very, very important. This information will give you the knowledge for 10 marks. Focus on this. Okay. In downstream processing, first, we'll do the harvest of fermentation broth, then removal of microbial cells from that particular product. Then apart from removal of the microbial cells, even the debris also will be removed there, and other solids will be removed and other impurities also will be removed. Then cell disruption will be done or cell disintegration will be done. Then separation, extraction, concentration, and then purification will be done. So all this process we can observe in downstream processing. In 10 marks, in the examination, they ask this question. For 10 marks, you can elaborate all these things. See, you can see many points here. First one, harvest fermentation broth. First point, removal of microbial cells, then debris and other solids, then impurities. Okay. Then you can also focus on how we can disrupt the cell or cell disintegration. There are so many other varieties of methods will be there that you need to focus. Then separation, extraction, concentration, and purification. Kindly make a note of this DSP. This is very, very important. Okay. Fine. Now let us go through what is fermenter. Okay. Before understanding about industrial biotechnology, you must have the knowledge about this, what is fermenter or what is bioreactor. Okay. A fermenter is a bioreactor, which is closed vessel with adequate arrangement for aeration, agitation, temperature, and pH control, and overflow vent to remove the waste biomass of cultured microorganisms along with their products. Okay, this particular definition, which is giving huge information about the fermenter, but this is the valid definition. Okay, kindly focus on this one. So you must say this answer for the what is a fermenter. You may get this question for 1 or 2 marks in the exam. Next, here you can see this is the one of the typical stirred fermenter. Okay, as you can see in this particular fermenter, we can see here this is the valve. Okay, for the aeration, you can see here this is the sterile air will be sent here. Then you can see here the sparger, through sparger air will be sent inside. Then cooling jacket can be observed here. This is the impeller, or this can also be known as the agitator. Okay, and pH probe, pH controller will be here. Okay, then acid base reservoir and pump. Okay, and here you can see the cooling water out can be seen and baffles can be seen. Okay, so in detail you'll understand later. Okay, this is the one of the pictorial representation of typical fermenter or bioreactor. In this particular bioreactor, one will also go through different parameters such as pH adjustment, okay, and monitoring the particular how much pH should be added into that particular bioreactor, okay, and the harvesting, okay, then about the how to control this particular fermenter, everything that you are going to understand at the later in types of fermenter. Okay, so this is the one of the best example of the fermenter. This is the stirred tank fermenter, and also it is known as typical fermenter. Okay, so now let us understand in detail about industrial biotechnology. Industrial biotechnology comprises of isolation of microorganisms. Okay, So we can isolate the microorganisms from natural source. Most of the time, we are going to isolate the microorganisms from the natural source only, like soil, water, air, like that we are going to isolate. Once we isolate the microorganisms, we can go through the identification of the desired microbes, then characterization of the microbes, then biochemical test will be done. Okay, then screening of that particular organisms will be done. To isolate the microorganism, there are several different varieties of the techniques will come. Okay, for the isolation of the microorganism. Some of the techniques like we can go through serial dilution technique, four plate method, spread plate method, streak plate method, enrichment culture method, then special isolation methods and dating techniques. By using all these techniques, first one can go through the isolation of the microorganisms. Okay, next here I've mentioned medium preparation. Okay, medium preparation means here this is the culture medium. When you go through the culture medium, we are going to get the natural medium and the artificial medium. This medium, which is going to provide all the nutrients for the growth and development of the microorganisms to release the products. If you want to obtain a very good product, first and foremost important thing is that you need to provide the proper nutrient medium, because the optimization of the nutrient medium is a vital thing to ensure maximum yield of the product. Okay, we need to provide the proper nutrient medium in this particular industrial biotechnology. Okay, and next is here inoculum preparation using industrial strain. Okay, inoculum means, what is inoculum here? The inoculum means this is a small amount of material, okay, containing maybe a bacteria, viruses, or any other microorganism that is used to start culturing. Okay, that is known as inoculum. It means whatever the organism you are going to select to obtain the novel products, no, at the industrial level, that particular organism, we can say that as the inoculum. Here inoculum preparation is very, very important, because this inoculum preparation, here we are going to think about the what kind of organism can be taken and how to optimize everything you are going to think, right? And here inoculum must be compulsory active in active growth rate, and that should be free from any kind of contamination, and that should exhibit product uh, forming ability must be there. Okay, and here we are focusing more on strain improvement and improvement of that particular inoculum for the benefit to obtain the many more products. Okay, because these microbial, by using the microorganisms are nothing but the inoculum, right? These microorganisms we are utilizing to obtain the different novel microbial products like antibiotics, enzymes, beverages, drugs, vitamins, organic acids, solvents, then food products, and other various recombinant proteins we are obtaining. That's why the inoculum preparation is very, very important. Hope you understood here, right? I'll repeat what is inoculum. Okay, inoculum is a small amount of material which containing bacteria, viruses, or any other microorganism which has the capability to give the very novel products. Okay, which are used to start culture, that can be known as inoculum. Okay, and whatever the inoculum you are selecting, no, that must be in active growth rate and free from contamination, and also that should exhibit product forming ability. Okay, then that particular inoculum will be considered for the industrial level. Now, next one is here screening and strain improvement. Okay, what are the organism you have selected at the industrial level? We'll say that as the inoculum, or selected organisms will be known as the strain. Okay, that particular organism further subjected for the screening, whether that particular organism is able to give our novel stable product or not. That can be understood through the screening. There are many screening methodology will be there. Once they have given a very good product, then that will be further subjected to the strain improvement. The selected organism or the selected particular any organism, that will be known as the strain or an inoculum. Further, that organism will be subjected for the improvement. How we can do this improvement? This can be achieved by protoplast fusion or mutation and many more other different kind of novel recombinant techniques. By using that, we can go for the strain improvement. Three common methodology of strain improvement: protoplast fusion, then mutation, and the recombinant DNA technology. Okay, and once we isolated that particular organism which has given a novel product, that can be known as the isolated mutants. Okay, then that isolated mutants will be exploited for the production of the novel products. Then fermenter design. Okay, the fermenter design is very, very important in this particular industrial biotechnology to obtain the very good product, because we have different types of fermenter like typical fermenter, airlift fermenter, right? Tower and bubble up fermenter, solid state fermenter, submerged fermenter, then continuous fermenter, shake flask fermenter, and many more. So you need to design your which particular fermenter will be suitable to obtain that particular novel product. Okay, and that comes under the upstream processing, that is USP. Okay, most of the time the fermenter, the size capacity may vary from 1,000 liter to 100,000 gallons. Just imagine. Okay, you may get from the pilot plant fermenter to larger vessels you are going to get at the industrial level. In this particular downstream processing, we'll also focus on what kind of nutrient media will be used, whether the natural media or synthetic media, and how to sterilize those synthetic or natural media. Here in the upstream processing, you are understanding about sterilization techniques like heat sterilization, radiation, and filtration methods. Okay, and next comes here the fermentation process. Okay, this fermentation process also comes under USP, that is upstream processing. Okay, in this fermentation process, you're understanding about the process of aeration, agitation, then temperature regulation and foam control and immobilized enzymes and cell bioreactors. So all those concepts you are going to understand in this particular fermentation process, USP, that is upstream processing. Okay, in the upstream processing only, again this optimal growth or optimization will come. Okay, this particular optimal growth or optimization, we can say in short this as the bioprocess optimization. Okay, what we can say here we can say that as bioprocess optimization. In this particular bioprocess optimization, what we are going to do in the bioprocess optimization, this bioprocess optimization is a methodology of finding out optimal conditions for the best yield of product under industrial conditions. Okay, that is known as bioprocess optimization. Again, that bioprocess optimization comes under the upstream processing. Okay, this bioprocess optimization, which is a challenging task and requires experts. Okay, and here the experiment will be done at the pilot plant, also at the larger scale of the industrial fermenter up to 100,000 gallons. Okay, and in this particular bioprocess optimization, we'll do the scale up process. Okay, in the scale up process, we are going to do take this particular process of technology from lab to the fermenter through the pilot plant will be done. Okay, and here also we think about the designing the larger fermenter after bioprocess optimization. Okay, and one more thing you should keep in your mind, this bioprocess optimization is a job of microbiologist and bioengineer. It means it's a collaborative endeavor between the microbiologist and the bioengineers. They must have the proper knowledge about this particular both microbiology and about the biological component metabolic activities. Okay, all they must have compulsory. And here the pilot plant can be designed depending on the product to a suitable size. Okay, so that will be done under the bioprocess optimization. Next comes the product recovery. Okay, this product recovery comes under the downstream processing. Okay, here physicochemical separation or process for the purification of the products will be done under this particular downstream processing. As I discussed already in the previous slide, right? We will focus more in this particular downstream processing about the product recovery, that is separation, purification, okay, disintegration of the cell and removal of the debris, that and concentration will be more focused on this particular downstream processing and even the packaging, okay. And this industrial biotechnology will also focus on effluent treatment, okay. Then what are the which are products which are available through industrial biotechnology that will be applied at agriculture level, then food and beverages, and even at the pharmaceuticals level, okay. Hope I made myself clear to you about the industrial biotechnology introduction part. Several thousands of years ago, when you observe here, Babylonians and Sumerians, they were using the yeast, okay, and Indian Vedic period, they were used they used fermented milk products, and even the milk products, okay. For a Vedic period, they used this particular fermented milk product, and also the fungal products like soma, which were derived from the mushrooms, were used. It means, why I'm recalling this one, because you should not think that the obtaining the microbial products is not advanced technology. Okay, in the earlier Vedic period only, all these particular microbial products significance were in use, but real scientific methodology was later understood. Okay, the scientific basis of fermentation, that is metabolic process that converts sugar into alcohol, gases, and acids, which was first examined 150 years ago by whom? By Louis Pasteur, right? In the 1857, Louis Pasteur showed the role of microorganisms in alcoholic fermentation, and also aerobic and anaerobic and facultative microbes, okay, which was all introduced and also explained by Louis Pasteur, right? To understand the definition in a very basic way about fermentation, the fermentation is a metabolic process that converts sugar or carbohydrates into alcohol, gases, and acid, okay. When you go through the history here, Pasteur showed spoilage of wine and other liquid products are due to the growth of unwanted microbes, okay, that leads to the formation of sour wine or beer, okay. In the beginning, Louis Pasteur stated that because he was doing the particular preparation of the wine, while preparing the wine, he also observed that whatever he prepare and keep that particular wine, no, he observed the spoilage. And later he understood that spoilage of wine is because of the some of the contaminating bacteria. Okay. Pasteur showed the spoilage of wine and other liquid products are due to the growth of unwanted microbes. So what he, to avoid this growth of unwanted microbes, what he did, he started boiling that particular wine for a certain extent and he preserved, okay. And that process is known as the pasteurization. But nowadays the same process was applied, we are applying that one to the almost all the techniques, right? In most commonly we can use that in the milk products. So later that particular work was coined as pasteurization. You must keep in your mind that pasteurization was done earlier to prevent or to avoid the growth of unwanted microbes in the wine. Okay, next coming to pasteurization. Okay, this pasteurization, you may get the question in your question paper for 1 or 2 marks. So you can make a note of this one. What is pasteurization? A process of heating food, that is milk, which slows spoilage due to the microbial growth. Okay. In 1897, Louis Pasteur suggested that mild heating at a temperature of 62.8 degrees Celsius for about half an hour, that is 30 minutes, was enough to destroy the undesirable organisms without spoiling the taste. Okay. And what is pasteurization? It is a process of killing microbes Okay, and this pasteurization, which also comes under the sterilization process. This particular pasteurization process was named after Louis Pasteur because he explained the scientific concept behind this particular sterilization of heating the liquid food. So to honor that person, they have given that process of heating as pasteurization. Now, microbial activity exploited for making wide range of industrial products, right? I have already discussed what all the different products were obtained by using the microorganisms. Real boost to this industrial biotechnology was happened after the discovery of antibiotics, which developed a close growth between pharmaceutical, okay, and microbial industry. In the year 1929, Alexander Fleming, who discovered penicillin, right? And that penicillin was is effective against gram-positive bacteria. Okay, in the year 1941, industrial production of the penicillin was done by other scientists like W. Florey, Ernest Chain at Oxford University, USA. Okay, and here these scientists who obtained the possible optimization of cultural conditions to grow the fungus in larger culture vessels, okay, which were called fermenter. You can think here that for the first time here we focused on fermenter. Okay, it means here Alexander Fleming discovered the penicillin, right? By using the through the Penicillium notatum, accidentally he discovered this particular penicillin, but his what are the extraction penicillin was there less than a spoonful. Okay, whereas these scientists Florey Chain, they optimized this particular penicillin production process at the larger industrial level. Okay, by using the specially designed vessel called fermenter. Okay, from this period we started using terminology fermenter or bioreactor. Okay. In the year 1945, three microbiologists, Florey, Ernest Chain, they shared Nobel Prize for the production of penicillin at larger scale. Okay. So here you can see their credit received, okay, because they received the Nobel Prize for their production process at the larger scale of that particular penicillin, because any kind of drugs which are available, that must be compulsory supply to the society at the larger scale. Then only that will be given more importance and they receive that particular significance. So Alexander Fleming in the beginning noted that penicillin, which is very effective against the gram-positive bacteria, okay, and he extracted this penicillin from the Penicillium notatum, okay, and later Florey Chain, they actually continued the process of extraction of penicillin, okay, and they optimized the cultural conditions, okay. Together they received the Nobel Prize for the production of the penicillin at the larger scale. Okay, here you can see he's Alexander Fleming in his culture lab. Okay, what Alexander Fleming observed, no, that zone of inhibition was like this. Other than penicillin, some other antibiotics were also discovered after Alexander Fleming, like streptomycin, which is very effective against the gram-negative bacteria, right? Which was discovered or isolated by Selman Waxman in the year 1944. He isolated the streptomycin by using the organism Actinomyces Streptomyces gracius. See, this streptomycin and penicillin, which is a microbial product, from the microorganisms, we are obtaining the antibiotics to kill some other organisms. Okay. Search for newer antibiotics led to the discovery of several other chemical substances of industrial important microorganisms. Okay. Here, microorganisms can be utilized for the conversion of inexpensive substrate, that is nutrients, into desirable end products such as alcohol or drugs and other industrial solvents. Okay. And further, we also focused on applications of microbial activity in mining to leach out metals from low-grade ores in dealing with pollution and control of pathogens, pests, and our oil spills, right? Oil spills, for example, Pseudomonas species. It means at industrial level, here we are focusing and exploiting many microorganisms to obtain the microbial uh, products. Okay, based on their microbial activity, we are obtaining the microbial products, and we are exploiting their microbial activity for making wide range of industrial products, okay, which are valuable, economic, environment friendly, and also to obtain various chemicals at larger scale. Okay, and what kind of products we are focusing at industrial biotechnology? Valuable commercial products we are focusing here. Here you can see some of the examples which under the microbial products. Okay, as I told in the previous slide, by using microorganisms, we can obtain the different products like alcohol and solvent, organic acids, then vitamins, enzymes, and some of the polysaccharides. Now let us go through here. By using Saccharomyces cerevisiae, this is the scientific name, yeast, by using that we can obtain the product ethanol, then Clostridium species, acetone, isopropanol, or butanol. Acetobacter species, sorbitol, Bacillus species, propylene glycol, then Saccharomyces, again glycerol. It means what you need to understand here, these are the microbial products we are obtaining. We obtained all this by using these microorganisms. So all this which comes under the examples for alcohol and solvent. Now let us go through here organic acids. We have obtained here the different varieties of organic acids by using these microorganisms at the laboratory condition, that is, in the in vitro condition. Aspergillus niger can be used for the production of the citric acid, lactobacillus species, and Rhizobium oryzae species. They can obtain the organic acids like lactic acid, bacillus species, acrylic acid, acidobacter species, acetic acid, rhizopus species, fumaric acid. Okay, when coming to the vitamins, we can obtain the vitamin B12 by using the organisms Pseudomonas dendrificans. To obtain vitamin C, we can use the organism Gluconobacter species. Okay, you must understand here, whatever the organisms are there, these organisms, we can say this as the inoculum or strain. All these organisms are subjected with the proper suitable nutrient medium at the industrial level. Okay, then by using these organisms, we have obtained all these products. Okay, that is in the in vitro condition, not the in vivo. Then coming to this, some of the examples of enzymes, like by using Aspergillus niger or oryzae species, we can obtain the enzymes like glucoamylase, then Bacillus subtilis, amylase or protease we can obtain. By using Trichoderma species, we can obtain cellulase. Then Saccharomyces cerevisiae, we can go for isolation of invertase. Then Rhizopus oryzae and Bacillus species, we can go for production of this particular protease enzyme. Then Saccharomyces cerevisiae can be used for the production of the lactase. Okay, one thing you must focus here, that here the same enzyme. See, by using Saccharomyces cerevisiae, we are obtaining ethanol here, right? And again, by using Saccharomyces cerevisiae, we are obtaining the invertase. By using Saccharomyces cerevisiae, we are obtaining lactase also. Okay, see, based the organism is same, but we are getting the different products, right? By using E. coli organisms, we are obtaining the novel product, that is recombinant insulin. By using E. coli, even we are getting the many varieties of the other products. See, it means to these microorganisms, what kind of culture medium, what kind of nutrients, or what kind of substrate you are going to provide to that organism. No, based on that, you are going to get the different novel product. That's why to these organisms or to the inoculum or to the strain, okay, or to the organisms, whatever selected for the industrial production process, no, what kind of nutrient medium you are providing, that is very, very important. That nutrient medium which is going to act like a substrate for the organisms, they utilize the substrate and gives that particular specific product. Okay. Next, microbial products like polysaccharides. By using Xanthomonas campestris, we can obtain the products like xanthan gum, which is having the industrial uses. Okay. And also some other common food additives, okay, can be also obtained. Then effective thickening agent, which are responsible for stabilizer to prevent ingredients from separating, then which are produced by simple sugars using fermentation process. Okay. So these are the some of the examples of microorganisms and their products. So all those comes under the microbial products. As I told you that almost all the organisms, whatever we are using at the industrial biotechnology or fermentation technology, they are fermentative in nature. Okay. The main key areas at industrial biotechnology is the production of industrial enzymes, antibiotics, vitamins, and biofuels. When you take an enzymes at the industrial level, the enzymes like lipases, proteases, xylanase play a very important role. So all these enzymes play a very important potential application in leather, detergent industry, dairy industry, pharmaceuticals, and paper industry. All these enzymes play a very important role. Okay. If all this particular industry, if they need these enzymes, we need to depend upon the microorganisms. We need to isolate the microorganisms, we need to provide the proper suitable nutrient medium. From there, we need to isolate all these enzymes. These enzymes again further utilized in this particular industry. Okay. Apart from all these industrial products like enzymes, antibiotics, vitamins, and biofuels, recent development also includes monoclonal antibodies, okay, which play a very important role at the immunology level. Okay. This monoclonal antibodies for clinical diagnosis and therapeutic purposes, which has played a very major role in the particular biotechnology or in the immunology part. Further, development of molecular biology. Okay. In the beginning, we focused on that this industrial biotechnology was influenced by the microbiology by using the microorganisms, right? And also the biotechnology. Apart from that, this industrial biotechnology, which has also enhanced with the development of the molecular biology, like genetic engineering process. Okay. A genetic engineering technology or recombinant DNA technology. And these technology which have given a tremendous novel products. Okay. It means the recombinant DNA technology which has made a tremendous influence on various fermentation process to obtain new valuable end products. Okay. In that, one of the most routinely used organism, that is E. coli. E. coli stands Escherichia coli, used as host for the production of large number of human proteins of medicinal importance. By using one kind of E. coli organisms, we obtain many different novel products. Some of the products like we have obtained proteins which play very important role in the pharmaceutical condition. Also by using genetically modified organisms like E. coli. We have, by using this genetically modified organism E. coli, we have obtained the products like recombinant insulin, interleukins, calcitonin, erythropoietin, serum albumin, epidermal growth factor, urocanase, DNA vaccines, okay, which has given the immunization against the viral infections, and many more we have obtained by using this particular microorganism, that is the bacterial organism, that is E. coli. So all these which comes under the microbial products. That's why these microorganisms are very beneficial. Apart from all those techniques, nowadays we're also focusing on immobilized cells and enzymes. Okay, we can see here the applications of immobilized cells and enzymes at the industrial level for the industrial fermentation process, which is another significant development in recent years apart from that monoclonal antibodies. Okay, here we are using the immobilized biocatalyst that work in a column reactor. Okay, to this column reactor, the substrate will be fed continuously at one end and the product being recovered from the other end. Okay, so in this particular fermentation technology, we are focusing on conversion of raw materials into end products. In this industrial biotechnology, we are focusing raw materials which are of inexpensive. The raw material should not be very expensive and the raw material should be easily available. The raw materials is nothing but the culture medium. Okay, that is nothing but the nutrient medium. That raw materials can also be known as the substrate. To that raw materials, we are going to add the inoculum or microorganisms or even the enzymes. Okay, and whereas in this industrial biotechnology or fermentation technology, there are some basic requirements are there to fulfill the fermentation process. Okay, now let us go through here the major requirement of industrial fermentation. The first and foremost basic requirement of industrial fermentation is the organism. Okay, this organism is known as substrate or producer. This is very important. This can also be known as the inoculum or strain. And the next one is the substrate, that is the medium, culture medium or nutrient medium. Okay, the next one is the most important thing, that is process for product recovery. Okay, you have a very good organism, you have a good laboratory. Okay, we have designed a fermenter vessel and you have a culture medium, you got a very good product, everything is fine. If you do not know how to recover that particular product, then no use, right? So one should also know about the process for product recovery. Okay, that is nothing but the how to obtain the fermented product. One should have the knowledge. Okay, one should have the technology. So all these three requirements are very important at the industrial fermentation level. Okay, I hope you understood today's class. So this is all about the introduction to industrial biotechnology and basic principles of fermentation technology. Thank you everyone for being with me in this particular class. And further, I love hearing you or your remarks in the comment box. And I urge you to stay safe and stay fit. Kindly maintain physical distance of 6 feet, wear mask, wash hands frequently, do not touch your nose and mouth frequently, and avoid as much as possible mass gathering. If in case, if your body exhibit any kind of symptoms related to the COVID-19, kindly visit your nearest doctor immediately. Thank you everyone for watching this video. I, Dr. Pratibha K, signing off for the day. Stay tuned with me. I'll be back with some more videos.